I always think an anonymous donation is so exciting, said Winifred with adolescent eagerness. I'm longing to find out who it is. Mildred, it isn't you, is it? Or anyone you know? I denied all knowledge of it. Julian smiled tolerantly at his sister's enthusiasm. Ah, well, I expect we shall know soon enough who has sent it. Probably one of our good ladies in Colchester or Grantchester Square. He named the two most respectable squares in our district, where a few houses of the old type, occupied by one family or even one person, and not yet cut up into flats, were to be found. My flat was in neither of these squares, but in a street on the fringe, and at what I like to think was the best end. It doesn't seem like them somehow, I said. They don't usually do good by stealth. No, Julian agreed. Their left hand usually knows perfectly well what their right hand is doing. Of course, said Winifred. A lot of new people have moved here since the war ended. I've noticed one or two strangers at church lately. It may be one of them. Yes, it probably is, I agreed. The new people moved into my house today, and I met Mrs. Napier for the first time this afternoon. By the dustbins, too. Julian laughed. I hope that isn't an omen, meeting by the dustbins. She seemed very pleasant, I said rather insincerely. A bit younger than I am, I should think. Her husband is in the Navy and is coming home soon. He has been in Italy. Italy? How lovely, said Winifred. We must ask them in. Don't you remember, dear? She turned to her brother. Fanny Ogilvy used to teach English in Naples. I wonder if he met her. I should think it very unlikely, said Julian. Naval officers don't usually meet impoverished English gentlewomen abroad. Oh, but his wife told me that he spent his time being charming to dull Wren officers, I said. So he sounds rather a nice person. She is an anthropologist, Mrs. Napier. I'm not quite sure what that is. Really? It sounds a little incongruous, a naval officer and an anthropologist, said Julian. It sounds very exciting, said Winifred. Is it something to do with apes? Julian began to explain to us what an anthropologist was, or I suppose he did. But as it is unlikely that any anthropologist will read this, I can perhaps say that it appeared to be something to do with the study of man and his behavior in society, particularly among primitive communities, Julian said. Winifred giggled. I hope she isn't going to study us. I'm very much afraid that we shan't see her at St. Mary's, said Julian gravely. No, I'm afraid not. She told me that she never went to church. I hope you were able to say a word, Mildred, said Julian, fixing me with what I privately called his burning look. We shall rely on you to do something there. Oh, I don't suppose I shall see anything of her, except at the dustbins, I said lightly. Perhaps her husband will come to church. Naval officers are often religious, I believe. They that go down to the sea in ships, and occupy their business in great waters, these men see the works of the Lord, and his wonders in the deep, Julian said, half to himself. I did not like to spoil the beauty of the words by pointing out that as far as we knew, Rockingham Napier had spent most of his service arranging the Admiral's social life. Of course, he might very well have seen the works of the Lord and his wonders in the deep. We got up from the table, and Julian went out of the room. There was to be some kind of a meeting at 7:30, and I could already hear the voices of some of the lads in the hall. Let's go into the den, said Winifred, and I'll make some coffee on the gas ring. The den was a small room, untidily cosy, looking out onto the narrow strip of garden. Julian's study was in the front on the same side. The drawing-room and dining-room on the other side. Upstairs, there were several bedrooms and attics.